All right, this is your sort of one-day crash course on how to write transformations for functions. Now, really and truly, these rules apply to any type of function. F of x represents whatever function, okay? It could be a linear function, it could be a quadratic function, and there are other types of functions, okay? So whenever you see f of x like that, it's whatever function and whatever type of function they gave you, okay? This is a copy that you should get, and it's sort of your magic decoder ring for how do I write a function once I'm translating and doing this, that, or the other to it, okay? Some of this is somewhat familiar to you because we touched on it today. Also, we have looked a little bit at quadratic functions in vertex form, and when you look at a quadratic function in vertex form, even though it's an h in here and a k out here, it's basically doing the same sorts of moves as with this D and C, okay? So what I want you to do is just keep this handy because I am going to be referring to it a lot. And we're going to just give some functions a try and see if you can figure out how to write the new function once they give you a translation, okay? We'll start with the one that we did sort of together as a warm-up, and we'll just make sure that we understand how that's written. Okay, so number 2 says the linear parent function f of x is equal to x, that's like your simplest linear function, is horizontally shifted 4 units to the left to create a new function, and that new function we're going to call g of x. Write the equation in terms of f of x to represent this transformation. Okay, so the big key terms are, well, just the key pieces of information are, we're going to say g of x is equal to whatever, and we're going to use this as our original, and then we're going to do something to it and notate what that is based on our magic decoder ring. Okay, so let me get a fresh sheet of paper or a sticky note. All right, once again, here is our original parent function f of x just equal to x. The new one that they want, we're going to call g of x, and we're going to write it in terms of this one. So we're going to say f of, and then any time that you shift horizontally left or right, what you do has to go in the parentheses with the x. So if you look at your little magic decoder, we are going 4 units to the left. So we're going to say x, and then our number of units to the left is a plus 4. And that is it. We're done. Okay? Okay, so this that I drew in pencil is the original line, f of x just equals x, okay? This new line is the g of x is equal to f, and then we put x plus 4 in parentheses, meaning that we have shifted the whole line to the left. And you might be tempted to think, oh, positive should go to the right, but it actually doesn't, okay? The reason why, if you will bear with me, let me generate a set of x and y values for the original line. When x is 0, f of x, or y, is also 0. When x is 2, f of x, or the y value, is also 2. When x is 4, y is 4. Okay, that creates this line. Let's do that same thing, though, using this new equation. All right, this time, when x is 0, put 0 in here. When x is 0, then the y value that I get is going to be 4. because it's 4 more than this original y value. When x is 2, the y value is 4 more than this original one. When the x value is 4, the y value is 4 more than the original one. Now, notice that instead of it crossing at 0, 0, the new one crosses at 0, 4, which is up here. 2, 6, 2, 6 is right here. 4, 8, 4 and 8 is right there. Okay, so if you look, this point right here, the corresponding point is back here 4 units. It has shifted 4 units to the left. This point here has shifted 4 units to the left. So even though this says +4, that doesn't mean that I'm shifting to the right. You just have to kind of pay attention and see what that means for your individual line, okay? I know it's tempting and kind of backwards sounding, but if you'll put it into the line formulas, you'll kind of see that it starts to make sense. But from what I've seen on star tests and things like this, they're not going to get a whole lot more complicated than these features. Okay, so we're going to go over several things. The other thing I don't think that they are likely to make you deal with is translating a function that's not linear. You would still use this format, but remember, like your parent function of a quadratic is like f of x is equal to x squared, and then you have to, but I think that they will probably just give you linear, and so that's going to be our emphasis today. Okay, so we're back to our parent function as our original function, and what if we're asked to shift this line 3 units up? What would we do? How would we write this? Well, shifting up and down, we're up here. We're not going to put it inside with the x this time. We're just going to tack it on the end, okay? And this one's a little bit simpler. If it's up, it's positive. If it's down, it's negative. So g of x is just simply going to be whatever f of x was plus 3, okay? Let me draw the original line, and let's look at what happens to give you this new line. Okay, and if you look, like if these are the coordinates of your original line, then the coordinates of your new line are just going to have the y with however many added, and we'll see that in just a second. Okay, so I'm still writing in pencil. This is going to have to do with my original line, f of x is equal to x, and I just picked some points on both sides of the y-axis just to kind of balance things out. So when my x is -5, then my y is also -5 because my y value equals my x value. Okay. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is 5, y is 5. Okay. -5, -5 is right here. 0, 0, 5, 5 is up here. Okay, so all of those are on my original line. Well, what happens if we translate it up 3 units? Well, okay, translating it up 3 units. Basically, if my x value is -5, the original f of x value that went with it was also -5. And then plus 3 gives me my new y value, which is just -2. If my x value was originally 0, my original y value was 0, add 3 to it. If my original y value was 5, add 3 to it. All right, and then let's plot this, and let's double check and make sure that we get a line that is basically this one, but shifted up 3 units. All right, so this purple line right here used the new coordinates, and you'll notice that it's this original line shifted up 3 units. So like this point shifted up 3 units. This point shifted up 3 units. This point shifted up 3 units, okay? And interestingly enough, if I had done shifted 4 units up, then I would have wound up with a line that was just slightly higher, and it would have looked exactly the same as when I shifted however many units to the left. So like shifting 4 units to the left is the exact same line as shifting 4 units up. I'm not sure you really need to know that. You probably just need to stick to the format, but there is that relationship, even though it may not be obvious at first. Okay, so here's our second situation. Let's do another one. Oh no, my original function is no longer my parent function. That's okay. We can still take whatever function and we can still translate it into something else. So let me first plot our original line. So the y-intercept is 4, and then I'm going to go up 3 and over 1, up 3 and over 1, because my slope is 3. Let me draw that line real quick. Okay, so what is the new line going to be if we shift this line 4 units to the right? Okay, so we're back up here to our magic decoder ring. We're shifting to the right. Remember, a horizontal anything, a left-right, we're going to put it inside with the x. So we're going to rewrite this, but in there with the x is going to be our shift, and then we just write the rest of it. Okay. Now, you could leave it in that form, which, you know, I don't know if they give you a multiple choice. They may give it to you like that. But could you also distribute and simplify this? And the answer is yes. Okay, g of x equals 3 times x, which is 3x, 3 times -4, which is -12, and then plus 4, and you wind up with 3x minus 8. Okay, so let's see if this is indeed shifted 4 units to the right versus what we had. Okay, and instead of doing my x and y values in a table, I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to say, all right, I've got a point right here, and I want to shift it 4 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doop. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting everything to the right, 4 units. Let me draw my line. So if I take this in the format that we had to use, because that's where we put our shift, and we simplify by using the distributive property, does this still give us this line shifted 4 to the right? And it does. If you look, this line, if you come back here, lo and behold, it crosses the y-axis at -8. That's its y-intercept. That's its y-intercept. So I can distribute or not. I don't know which way they would show it to you. But anyway, use this. We're going to do some more practice, but I'm going to end this screencast and start another one with a few more helps and hints, and then I'm going to turn you loose on some practice questions.